USS Cowpens is an Aegis-guided missile cruiser. It's one of the Navy's newest ships, most sophisticated surface combatants afloat in the world today.
His job is to operate the Spy 1 Bravo radar system. As you can see, instead of this one sweep, he's got a total of 8 sweeps that all go around, so it's not like your standard radar.
The Combat Information Center, or CIC, is really the heart and soul of the ship, and it's where we fight the ship from. And that's where we keep track of all friendly air targets, surface targets, unknown and hostile targets.
Bridge combat updated DDRT, course to speed to carrier 04379.
In this battle group that USS Cowpens is with right now is a USS Kitty Hawk, the aircraft carrier, the USS William H. Stanley, a guided missile cruiser, the USS Leahy, another guided missile cruiser, USS Jarrett, which is a guided missile frigate, and the USS Sacramento, which is a replenishment ship.
It begins with a gunshot from the other ship where they send a line across, and we haul in on this line, which eventually is attached to a span wire which we attach to the ship.
What we're doing right now with the USS Sacramento is called an underway replenishment. We call it UNREP for short. It's a very complex evolution, very dangerous evolution. It involves a lot of personnel doing things that provide a lot of risk to life and limb, so we try to keep the evolution as safe and as smooth and simple as possible.
The probe is seated on board us, and we take on fuel. Very quick, a lot quicker than taking on fuel in port.
Our ship will take about 45 minutes to refuel. It depends on how much fuel we need. We can go about 8,000 or 9,000 miles without refueling.
Lady, this is Cowpens. Roger, I will haul out to starboard and we'll go ahead and proceed ahead to take my station. Our theme song and our breakaway song, whenever we pull away from a replenishment ship, is a theme song from the old TV show Rawhide. And there are very few of us on board that remember watching that TV show, and that really dates us. But it's a great song, and again, the crew just loves it, takes a lot of pride in it.
Wow, special moments. I guess that you could really tick off quite a few. Personally, I have had a great deal of interest in the activity on the carrier, and we had a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to see close-ups and takeoffs from the carrier.
He's a pilot, and I didn't get to be with him when they did the air show from the Kitty Hawk, but I heard a lot about it, and he just loved it.
I think sometimes it's hard for somebody that's back home to really conceptualize what we do out here until they actually see it. So it's exciting to see the looks on their face when they see some of the things that happen. When the Tiger comes on board the Cowpens, I see the Tiger entering into the sponsor's world.
This is one of 4 of the ship's main propulsion gas turbines. It's an LM2500.
I see that as they're being able to relate a little bit to the stresses that the sponsor goes through over a 6-month deployment or just in daily shipboard life.
The reason it looks like a aircraft engine is because it is an aircraft engine.
But it also gives them some concentrated time together.
For marine propulsion use by strapping on this power.
They're on a 550-foot by 50-foot ship.
Have you discarded?
Not yet.
All right, here we go.
And they have to, once again, start relating to one another, usually through communication, verbal communication, talking about things, the past, the present, the future.
to fail.
They say a lot of things to me. Number one, they're amazed at the busyness of the schedule that the ship has, even while we're underway. Another factor is the constant movement of the ship and how tiring that can be on an individual.
I guess the fact that the ship is always rocking and rolling and pitching creates quite a number of problems that you don't think a lot about.
I'm not as good as you are. Okay, so try this.
It's so strange to see people walking down at a tilt, and then when the ship rolls, they tilt the other way. That really is humorous, but quite common.
Flight quarters, flight quarters.
Sleeping certainly has been one of the things I've had trouble with.
Ocean floor, 2-4.
The very fact that there are all kinds of noises, bells, gongs, telephones, men coming in and out of the rack at all hours of the day and night, it's very difficult to adjust to those kinds of changes.
Tigers, I'm sure they've heard a lot of horror stories on what Navy chow was like, and I want to prove to them that it really is good.
Man, they're beautiful. Look at that one.
Steel Beach picnics are a big morale booster on board the ship. We have them every Sunday. We take all the food up to the flight deck. We fire up the barbecue grills just like you would at home.
Still hungry, please. Feel free to come here and get some more food.
And here the guys can get out in the fresh air, lay out in the sun for a while, listen to some music, and just kind of unwind from having the daily meal down in the galley. On Cowpens here, we plan the special meals for the night, like having cake and ice cream and nacho night and pizza night done by other people in the crew other than the cooks.
Pepperoni on this one. What do you think it needs? Okay, it's done.
Look at these Italian men. They're serving the pizzas.
What happened to the pizza?
Oh, they're flying out of their doorstep. And here's Bob Costello.
Okay, well, we were simply preparing the pizzas. Things were going relatively well, and that's when I made the fateful decision to try and remove one of the pizzas from our pizza container. Let me demonstrate what happened. I simply went over here, opened up this door, and the ship took a heavy port roll. No, correction, that would be a starboard roll. Then, the pizzas all came out on the floor, the deck, and we tried to get them in one by one, but again, the ship continued to roll, so I had to brace myself with my torso holding the pizzas in here, thereby sacrificing a otherwise pretty decent uniform. And then just when we had them all back in, we took another heavy roll, and they all went on the deck again, including Lieutenant Commander Everson and myself.
He made it all up.
That's what it was.
It never happened. He slipped and fell. It went,
Just when you think it's safe to go back in the galley.
That's the best move I ever saw.
Is this a wall around this body or what? They were perfectly fine. Pizza. Is it not that bad when you get them back in the tray?
Here, I've got something to show you. This is where I sleep. Ordered up a king-size no-smoking bedroom, but got only the no-smoking part of it. This is an 8x8 area here that sleeps 6 men, 3 deep, as you can see. My bunk is right here in the center. And you'll notice just about a 2-foot headroom here. And I would not recommend this for anyone who jumps up at night because I think you'd have a very bad headache in the morning. The other thing that's quite interesting about this whole bunking arrangement is that it takes a contortionist to get in it. And let me take my shoes off and show you. Now once in here, it's just a little bit tight. Once you get set, you'll be able to find a comfortable position, and hopefully you can sleep in that position all night because you're probably not going to have much room to move.